All right, it's 6 a.m. You just finished your workout. Time to get ready for the day. You jump in the shower and you're using your favorite volumizing shampoo and conditioner because let's face it, you're not as young as you used to be. Your hair on top is thinning, yet you want to look your best naturally. Next up, you're washing your face and body with a soap that's designed for daily use. In case you didn't know, a lot of soaps out there are too harsh and can cause irritation if you use them more than once a day. Next up, you're shaving your face. Now you've got sensitive skin, so first thing you put on is the shaving oil. Then you apply the shaving cream, give yourself a really nice precision shave, and then you're using an aftershave balm to soothe the skin and deal with any redness or irritation. Next up, a couple sprays of deodorant in the armpit to make sure you're fresh all day. Next up, you want to style your hair. So you add a bit of sea salt to give it a little bit of texture, a little bit of volume. And right after that, you add a little bit of matte mud. That way you can style your hair and hold that look all day. And wrapping things up, you want to seal up the skin. So you apply your face moisturizer and then you apply your body moisturizer. You do this because it's extremely cold or dry or hot outside, and all of this causes the body to lose moisture. So when you seal up the skin, you protect it. You're doing yourself a service because your skin is going to look better over time. So by using a moisturizer, you better protect your skin all day, making you feel younger and look healthier. All right, Jen, so I know a lot of you guys are going to say, Antonio, I don't use 10 products like that every single morning. That's true. I did leave off wearing a fragrance. But seriously, gents, when we're getting ready, we oftentimes use various products that have slightly different scents. And the question is, can you mix these products and how does that affect the way you smell? And I know a lot of you guys have this question because many of you guys have asked me specifically, Antonio, when I'm wearing deodorant, does this affect the way my fragrance smells? The short answer here is don't worry about it. The reality is most grooming products don't have enough fragrance oil in them to last more than like 30 minutes when it comes to smell. As a guy that owns a grooming company, Vitaman, by the way, the sponsor of today's video, and down in the description of today's video, gents, I'm going to link over to our essential kit, which you can grab at an amazing price. If you've ever wanted to try our Vitaman products, now is the time to do it. Grab our essential skincare kit. In it is everything you need to start looking good today. Seriously, gents, I'm putting an amazing discount link down in the description of today's video. Just click it, go over to Vitamin, and take advantage of this deal before it's gone. All right, so where was I? Talking about the products. So fragrance oil is a tiny part. And I know with our products, natural, organic ingredients, we didn't actually want to put much in there, but every product has its own smell. And oftentimes companies will put, especially if they're using a lot of synthetic materials, again, we do not, but some of them are trying to cover that up. An example would be shaving creams that come from a can. They're using butane to actually push that out. Butane has a really nasty smell, so they're trying to cover up the smell. And that's when you look on the back, you see all these crazy, nasty ingredients. Point being, if it's a skin moisturizer, it should focus in on the mission, which is to moisturize your skin and protect it all day. And if it's going on your face, like a face moisturizer or an aftershave balm, you really want to make sure that they avoid putting in a lot of unnecessary ingredients because you're going to deal with more irritation. Just the skin on the face is more sensitive. I know with our aftershave balm, it doesn't have any of those nasty ingredients, and it actually has aloe. So that's why it's got a natural aloe smell. That being said, if you're really worried about mixing scents, about mixing fragrances, then make sure that you just buy from one company all of your products, because in general, they're going to make sure that all of their products work together. I know that we do that with our line. And if you're not interested in my stuff, go check out Eric over at Beard Brand. He's a good friend of mine, and they have done an amazing job at making sure that all of their products, in particular lines, use the same fragrance oil and have the same exact smell. Now, what about aftershaves and fragrances? Can you mix these two? Now, before I talk about wearing these together, let me first explain the difference. So an aftershave, historically, this was actually had a medical purpose. Go back 200 years ago when men were shaving, if you had a really deep nick, this could be something serious. So you wanted to take care of it with alcohol. You're going to find that most aftershaves contain well over 95% alcohol and only a small percentage of fragrance oil, sometimes 1 to 2% fragrance oil. So they're not really made to last the smell is just there as an afterthought. It's all about the alcohol going on the skin and disinfecting any cuts, because there was a time when those cuts could lead to infection, which could lead to death, and that was a real threat men had to think about when they're shaving. Fragrances, on the other hand, contain usually a much higher percentage of fragrance oil, 10, 20, sometimes even 30%. So because they've got more of that fragrance oil and it's made in a way that it's going to last longer. The fragrance in general is for the application of the smell. It's not for disinfecting anything, although it can be used in certain circumstances for that. But really, this is about spraying it on your clothes, spraying it on your body, so throughout the day, you're projecting a certain scent. And if you take off the lid, you're going to immediately notice that right here, we've got an atomizer. This is very common on perfumes, on colognes, on fragrances. While on aftershaves, whenever you take that lid off, what you're going to see here is it's open. It's made for splash application. Now, you may be wondering at this point, what's the purpose then of using an aftershave? It seems like it's a bit outdated. Well, a lot of guys still enjoy it. It can be part of the procedure. It still actually does a great job at disinfecting. A lot of guys swear that it tightens up the skin, which alcohol probably would. And it also is just something a lot of men just enjoy the smell. And it can be used in lieu of a fragrance. A lot of people, yeah, they're not going to wear colognes, but they will put on an aftershave every morning, every time, they basically shower, and they just love the smell of it. So what about wearing them together? Well, if you're going to do this, I recommend that probably not to apply the fragrance for at least 15 to 30 minutes after you've applied your aftershave. So you're getting dressed. This is when you would apply the fragrance. And I think it's even a smart thing. You like leather? Well, stick with leather with your fragrances, or darker, deeper fragrances. But you don't have to do this. You can mix things up. Again, this is only going to last about 30 minutes to an hour at most. And you're putting this on the face area. This you can apply to the chest. It's applied to the clothing, the back of the neck. Now, specifically, what about deodorants and colognes? Can you mix these? Because let's just face it, a lot of deodorants are strong, and they're made to be that way because they don't want you stinking up. So these are made to stay in an area, not really to project. And that's going to be the big difference in a fragrance or a cologne or a perfume, whatever you want to call this is made to project. This is made to stick closer to the skin. So even if this has a smell that sticks around all day, it's going to stay closer. In addition, you're usually going to have clothes over this, like a shirt, an undershirt, maybe a sweater like I've got here, and that is going to keep the scent right there on the skin. Fragrances, on the other hand, are made not only to be worn on the skin, but also on the clothes. In fact, if you're dealing with irritation on the skin, I recommend you only spray on the clothes. Don't spray too much, and it's always better to go with a little bit less than too much, especially if it's like, something like elixir right here. This stuff is, be careful. This is beast mode stuff. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? How about the number one rule to always looking stylish? Guys, I got you covered. If you want to look good, check out this video. It is a good one.